Alright guys, so I'm here to give my opinion on Godzilla versus Kong. Um, I like the movie. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty good. I personally I thought with the people it had more character background with Kong and the people and explaining like maybe back then that it had great value instead of having just two monsters just fighting for no damn reason. Um, Godzilla had was obviously underground fighting Kong ancestors back then, and I seen it as an opportunity to really get into detail. Now, back in like the 1962 movie, it was just Kong and Godzilla fighting. You see them, and Kong just came out the water at the as like almost like he was the victor. It wasn't really conclusive because you didn't see Godzilla raise or you didn't see his body rise out of the water, so it didn't really make sense to me. Um, but I respect that movie in the sense that it was a good movie in terms of you seeing obviously two great enemies of each other, arch rivals in a way. They went against each other, and it was more like to me as a tie. In this movie, I like how they use Mechagodzilla to have Godzilla and Kong team up. I thought that was pretty cool. I seen no problem with that. Mechagodzilla obviously is man-made, and it was an arch rival in several movies that I think I can recall. But anywho, Mechagodzilla had, I mean, if you haven't seen a movie, you won't necessarily see what I'm talking about. But if you have, you know what I'm talking about. Where they had Ghidorah's skull as the brain behind Mechagodzilla. And I don't think people may have, I'm not sure people have, but the connection between Mechagodzilla and Ghidorah was that Ghidorah's brain or his, I don't know, like he had some type of connection to Mechagodzilla and he was able to control it. And I guess he wasn't completely dead in a sense where I was confused on that, where if he's just a skull and it was only one of the heads, how could he control it? But I'm not going to really try to overthink that. I mean, I thought that was cool in its own way that it wasn't just a man controlling it, it was actually Ghidorah controlling it, and in that sense. So when Ghidorah started controlling it and shit and stuff went haywire, Mechagodzilla killed off both creators. First swiping one dude, I guess he was the CEO. He swiped him, completely took him out of the game, and I was like, whoa, well there's a twist. And then the man that was sitting in the chair just shocked him, just completely just electrical shock, and he was gone after his eyes rolled it back in his head. I thought that was pretty cool. I feel like while all that since that was all happening, you can see that in one sense, and then Kong was underground at this time. The whole time he was underground while that was transpiring, and he was extremely happy that he found his home, his true home, and it was like an underground, it's like sanctum. You know, there was trees and stuff that he could swing off of, and then when he finally got to where he needs to get to, you could really see there was like a whole kingdom. And I was shocked to see that there was a whole kingdom. I thought it was just a cavern at first, and then we were able to go inside of it. He had an axe, and the thing started glowing. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Then it cut off to Godzilla while he was rampaging on like the city streets. Like this man, obviously, everybody knows that Godzilla, if there's a threat that's towards his kingdom, he's going to show up. Kong was a threat because Kong would not bow down to anyone. He won't bow down. That has been true to the truest back in the past, and it's true and holds true now. He's not going back. He's not going to bow down to anyone. Then there was another threat from the humans, Mega Godzilla, obviously. That was two big threats that Godzilla sensed, and if you've seen the previews, well, spoiler alert, now you know why he was attacking the humans. My bad if you haven't seen the movie. I don't mean to spoil it, but I hope you've seen it by now. If you haven't, I'm sorry. But anywho, Godzilla literally just rampaged on the streets, was destroying shit, and then he got this sixth sense in his eyes, and he started to charge up his ray, and he shot it into the ground. Now I didn't know where he was going with it until it shot a hole right on through the ground, and it was able to like literally show up, like where it was able to show that Godzilla and Kong was able to see each other. That was the most surprising part. It was that he had enough power to shoot into the ground to show that he has, dominance, that he can do anything. Now, Kong went into that hole, and also the survivors that he considers friends went into the hole and showed up, to face Godzilla. Now that's when Godzilla and Kong went against each other. It was battling back. I liked where my favorite part was when Kong jumped up, used the axe, and was able to block Godzilla's ray like it was nothing. Like it didn't affect the axe at all, and realizing that it was powered up from Godzilla's ray. It was just basically like a shield. And besides being a shield, it was also a weapon. Because, he was able to swing it, and Godzilla was able to dodge a lot of his attacks, but there was times where he was able to hit Godzilla clean. And it showed impact. That being said, there was some flaws to the movie. Like when it first began, I didn't understand where they were going. Like how did Godzilla, not Godzilla, Kong, how did he get captured? I lost sight where he got captured. I couldn't understand why or why he was in the area that he was in, and with this little girl, until they showed it, and I'm like, okay, well, they captured him, but how did they capture him? They didn't show any way of how they took him down. Did they put sleeping powder? I mean, there was nothing there, so I let that go because it was just the beginning. I guess it really don't matter, but I thought, maybe show hints, so maybe in the beginning, show shadows of how he got captured and got transported. That would have been lovely, but that wasn't the case. So, Kong was not happy. Obviously, you can tell, and that was maybe a downside to the movie. But there was a whole lot of upsides, like how Kong, which is a giant gorilla, was able to have a whole conversation with this little girl in, not by talking to each other, but doing sign language. I thought that was pretty cool for an actual character able to conversate with a giant gorilla. Then the little girl's like, I guess, guardian. Like, I want to say guardian, but who knows? This lady was able to communicate with the little girl, and so everybody was having the woman conversate with the little girl to conversate with Kong, and get what Kong was, try to understand Kong's perspective. Kong obviously wasn't happy. He was telling people he wants to go home. He wants to be where he knows, and that's how basically they were searching for his home, and there were other reasons why let's just say other people wanted to be there. I'm trying not to spoil the movie, so it might sound choppy in some ways, but I don't want to spoil the movie too much if you haven't seen it. But overall, it's a pretty good movie. I don't see too many downsides to it. So, I mean, if you're not into movies like this, you're missing a lot. You're really missing a good movie. But thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like my channel on YouTube. It's something I'm striving to actually build on. I also have other social medias. Instagram is Christopher_Robbins1231. I also have Twitter, which is LIL little head 35. I also have Twitch, which is just a bunch of lifting videos. I like to do strongman. Obviously, that's what I'm into. If you haven't seen my earlier videos, go check them out. But my Twitch videos is there. My Twitch name is BLCR1231. Have a nice day.